One of the defining things that has often moved people to the right, Matthew, over time has been home ownership. That's getting harder and harder to attain for younger people. Did that show up in your data?
So that's not something that I've looked at specifically. I plan to do future research to try and unpack how it is we got here and what we can do about it. But I think the home ownership issue is definitely going to be part of the story, because something we know about millennials is as we approach our 40s, where our rates of home ownership are significantly below that of the Gen X and Boomer generation at the same age. And there's a lot of literature and political science across a number of countries that shows one of the factors that shifts you into the sort of the centre-right camp as you get a bit older is the accumulation of assets and home ownership in particular.
How much has education got to do with this? Because if you plot that time there, boomers, millennials, and I think a real degrading of education from the millennials and on, that's where I'd argue the institutions have been picked up and now controlled by the left. That's almost a parallel with your findings.
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that. There was a piece of research published in one of the top economics journals, I think it was earlier this year, that their argument is that what we're seeing isn't so much an age effect in voting, that it's really a rate of higher education attainment effect. And obviously, millennials and Gen Z are some of the most highly educated generations, far more so than boomers. I mean, I don't know if that's, to what extent that's the story in Australia, because I think Gen X were also had quite high rates of tertiary education, and their voting behaviour seems to basically have followed the boomers lockstep from about the age of 30.
I think I'll give you a tip there, Matthew. I think it's the quality of the education. It's not just the attainment of the piece of paper. And I think I declare I'm an X. The quality of my higher education was contested ideas, it was debate, all the things that universities used to foster. They're a long way away from that now. And I think that's part of the problem. So it's not just attainment, it's what you're learning when you're there and the quality of the teachers and the scholarship.